Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how you can aerate your lawn. It's pretty simple, but first, if you like the Grass Daddy shirt, there's a link in the description on how to get one. A lot of people have been asking about the shirt, so I finally got around to doing it. Now if you're going to be aerating, the first step is to mow your lawn. I like to do a little bit shorter, so I did it at 3 inches when I've normally been doing it at 3.5 or 4. Just makes it a little bit easier. But if you've got an irrigation system like me, you're gonna need some flags. Show the flags, buddy. And you're gonna want to put one where every sprinkler head is. So when you're doing it, you want to avoid those areas because you don't want to hit the lines. Sometimes they'll make the lines come up almost like an inch underground. Some places I've seen, you can see it right there, it's visible. So you want to avoid that whole area. Usually about a foot away. It should be down far enough, and just, take your time around those areas because you don't want to break your sprinklers while you're doing it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn the sprinklers on the edge and we're going to put flags down, okay? Can you count? Do you want to get wet? Do you want to get wet? Yes or no? You don't care? All right, then we'll run for it. Alright, so it's probably a little bit more wet than I was planning because somebody took off with the flags, but yeah, that's okay. But it is good to have the soil be a little bit moist for plugging this. I actually watered the yard yesterday, so it should be pretty moist, not like soggy, but also not dry. Alright, so I'm going to point this out. It should be obvious, but you also don't want to run over these. So, hey, Zach, can you put a flag right there? Right here. This one you don't have to get wet for. Just right here in the corner, in the grass.
I can see.
Yep, perfect.
I can see it.
Thank you. That's to remind me not to run over this. Alright, so for this aerator, there's a bunch of doodads here. The first one is the on-off switch. Obviously, if it's off, you will not get this thing going. The next is the gas. Same thing, you want to switch it on. Next is the choke. To start it, you want to pull the choke on. And this is the throttle. Here it's faster, here it's slower. So when you start it up, you're going to have it slow. In the choke, you pull it. Then once it's warmed up a little bit, a few seconds, you're gonna put the choke back and you're gonna let it warm up for a couple minutes. You don't want to run this cold, just like pretty much every machine. And then once it's been warmed up, you can slide the throttle all the way. And from this end, it's pretty simple. This raises and lowers. So you see, down like that with slack, they're down. When you pull it, it's gonna pull it up. And then this will make it go forward. And for turning, you're gonna wanna always pull this up and turn it and then put these back down. So kind of like mowing, spraying, etc., you're gonna do an outside pass as best you can, then go back and forth, and then you're gonna wanna go perpendicular to it and go back and forth. It can be a little bit tricky, so if this is your first time using an aerator, just start out in the middle, play with it, do some turns and stuff. That way you're not near anything that you might be afraid of running over, and then go for it. But really, it's not too hard. It's just doing it. All right, turning the gas on, doing a choke. Alright, so I was just seeing if there's a way to adjust how deep the tines go. But I figure I'd show you how this works. It's pretty simple. Just spinning those around and they're punching in. No way to adjust it though. So, oh well. Now I guess I could stick my finger in a hole to see how deep it actually is going, but the plugs are pretty small. Well, it's going a couple inches in, but all the plugs are getting compacted so they look like it's barely going in, but it's working. Now, because of the slope, I'm not going to go this way. I'm just going to go back and forth over it again. It does seem to be doing a pretty good pattern. I'm not sure if that's really necessary. It looks very well covered. But I figure I got it, so I might as well do it. And then any of these brown spots, I'm gonna try to go over a few times just to make sure they're all good and done. So, to save battery, I won't record this part because it's exactly the same thing, but you get the picture. You wanna go over a few times, make sure you get good coverage. It's super heavy. Something to think about, if you're stopping it and you forget to, like if this is down, the angle of these, at least on this machine, is such that you can push forward, but if you try to go backwards, those will jam into the ground more and it gets stuck. So a few times it stalled out because I was on the hill trying to push up, but it was actually down more and it just shut off. But you want to make sure before you do the turn, pull these up, which if you have a real mower, some of them you have to do that, so you might already be used to it. But for the rest of us, just gotta remember, and that's all there is to it. It's super easy to do. The hardest part is actually getting it in and out of the Mazda for me. So the rest of it, it's kind of fun. All right, looking good. Let's see if I can show you the pattern it's got. Over here you can probably see it better. I did a lot more over here. I did a couple passes just because it's so brown and I'm always having issues with the edges. But basically you want nice close holes like that across the whole yard. Can't really see it much over there. Now, some people like to try to blow all the plugs away or rake them up, all that. Personally, I don't do that. For the most part, in the front yard, if you're doing it nice and tall and thick like most people are, you don't gotta do anything, which is great. Now, if you're gonna be seeding, this is the time to seed. If you're not, this is a great time to do your fall pre-emergent application, just because you did pull all those plugs up. There's debate on whether or not that's going to cause big issues. People think it's pulling up all these weed seeds. Could be, might not be. But if you're going to aerate in the fall and not overseed, you might as well put your pre-emergent down right after and you're covered either way. So that's how to aerate your lawn. Alright, I appreciate you guys watching my videos. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. It's what makes this really enjoyable and fun, making all these videos. And be sure to check out the ones below. Have a great day. Bye.